Hey there everybody, welcome back to the video. Thanks for joining me for today's quickie video all about a sewing challenge that I plan on joining for this month, the month of March. It is the hashtag Frugal Frocks 2021. Those of you in the know will know that this is hosted by Sam of Frugalissima and Ruan of the Yorkshire Sew Girl. It took me a while to figure out what frocks actually meant, but apparently it means a dress. I think it's a UK term versus kind of the American Canadian English that we would use here. We call a dress, they call a frock. It's like a vest versus a sweater and a jumper versus, whatever. But the whole idea and the premises of the challenge, which is mostly, I believe, going to be on Instagram, is that you are going to use a free sewing pattern. Now this can take a couple of different forms. It might be a sewing pattern that came with those sewing magazines, which I know are very popular. Sometimes they'll throw in some freebies. It might be things that are available online that you can download, that you didn't have to pay for the actual pattern. Or it might be a pattern that friends or family have given you that you didn't actually pay your own dollars for. In any of those possibilities. So pick a free dress sewing pattern, because it needs to be a dress, that's a frock, and then pick a fabric that's already in your fabric stash, and then make up something awesome and wonderful and reveal it over on Instagram, I believe the last day of March. I had hummed and hawed over entering or just participating in general because I am such a slow sewist. You cannot imagine how long it takes me to make things. Those of you who have like kids and jobs and then manage to sew and also run a house, like I have no idea how you do it, but I'm not very fast with my sewing. However, I'm thinking because it's March and there is spring break vacation for me, I will have about 2 weeks off to my own devices in which I can probably sew up a dress, and that would be just fine. So I'm going to talk to you about the free dress pattern that I've chosen, as well as a quick show of the fabric. It's quite a basic look when it comes together, and that's perfectly fine with me. It didn't have to be something fancy, especially because I prefer to wear slightly more casual outfits anyways, whether this ends up being a house dress or a summer dress or whatever it ends up being. I think there's a lot of different routes you can go with this particular pattern. And of course, thanks to everybody who's been posting all these free frocks or free dresses, patterns which are available. I will link my particular one down below in the comments, no, not comments, information bar for you. So please expand that if you want more details. And the pattern I'm going to use is the named patterns Ruska knot dress. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds familiar because it actually is from the Named Patterns book that came with a couple of patterns, and the book is about like 45-50 bucks. I looked at it and I thought about getting it, but really what I really want out of that entire book collection is this Ruska dress. And apparently Love Sewing magazine, I believe is the right one, actually did some kind of a collaboration, and this particular dress is online, again, link in the info bar for download for you for free. So that makes this a free sewing pattern. So I am so thrilled about it because I think the whole look is very interesting. It's something that can be dressed up or down depending on the fabrics you're choosing. It is in essence a t-shirt dress, but a little snazzier. It's got your classic crew neck, so quite a high neck with a band. It's got short sleeves. You can, of course, extend it into longer sleeves. You can do a longer sleeve with a cuff, depending on the weather situation where you are. It is in the original pattern, more of a knee-length-ish dress, depending on how tall you are. I'm like 5'2", so it might end up being a little longer on me, but I do plan on cropping it to the same length that the model has it. And the key detail is going to be that wrap tie front. I love that detail. I think it looks super flattering. It draws, in a way, it does draw attention to your midriff, but because the lines of the knots pull up, it creates kind of a flared out look on the bottom and just a little bit of visual interest. I don't actually feel like it really accentuates your tummy area if you're kind of worried about that. I find the detail just to be really sweet and feminine, but also should be quite flattering as well. I've seen it on a couple of people. So the Ruska dress, I had a bit of trouble with printing it. I've printed other Love Sewing magazine PDFs before and they've been fine, but for this particular one I couldn't get it to tile correctly on the paper I was using, which is just regular 8.5 by 11. I think it's called American A4 size paper. Something was a little off, so I did have to shrink it down to 95% in order to get all the pattern pieces like on each page without anything cutting off. But I figured if I just size up a little, it's probably okay. And the length and stuff in the body or the skirt won't really matter for me because I'm short to begin with. Super stoked for that dress because that was the one I really wanted out of their sewing book anyways. Again, check it out if you have not seen it already. And of course that dress is meant to be made with a knit fabric. I have this really lovely stretch French terry in my collection from Our Social Fabric. I showed this to you in a haul a few months ago. Side note, there is a new fabric haul. If you haven't seen that one already, go check it out. So this is the underside. French terry has this is not super loopy. It has very fine loops on the back. And then the front side is smooth. It is a dark navy. Now, French terry tends to be quite a casual fabric. And often used in sportswear. This particular one I have has great stretch and pretty good recovery as well. It is lightweight, as you can see. It's got some drape as well. So when you're thinking about having it in a dress, I think it will still have enough structure, but still flow around the body nicely. And because there is that knot detail right in the center, you do want something that ties nicely that isn't super thick. Now, I would love your ideas on whether or not I should make this into a long sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve, or leave it as a short t-shirt sleeve. The t-shirt sleeve version would definitely work well going into the warmer months, but we're still a little bit cold here. And I could definitely make it into a longer sleeve, maybe even with a cuff. I'm not sure yet. What I do want to do for sure is do some kind of embroidery or detailing. Either at the shoulders with some piping, contrasting piping. I love a good shoulder detail. I don't love a puff sleeve, but I love a shoulder embellishment. And or do some kind of embroidery along one of the chest areas for the dress. And I think that would make it just special enough, but not make it, you know, too fancy that I would feel like I'm getting super dressed up day to day. Again, if you have made the dress, the Ruska from Named Patterns, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. The Love Sewing download does not include the instructions because how they do it is that they will make the patterns, the sewing patterns, free and downloadable, but the magazine has the actual written instructions. However, with the Ruska dress in particular, it doesn't seem like a hard sew. It's really just a t-shirt front and back, and the tie piece is an overlay to the front. So as long as you finish your seams and edges, I think it will be fine. I don't think I will really need the instructions. So super stoked about joining the Frugal Frocks 2021. If you have not checked out Sam and Ruran, I will leave their YouTube channel links down below, and go follow the hashtag over on Instagram. I will put that right here on the screen, because while I am not able to show you the finished garment before the reveal date, because everybody's revealing at the same time, I will definitely be posting updates over on Instagram. If you want to follow along and see what's happening with the progress of this dress, I'm happy to share with you over there. I do have to tape up the pattern. I am in the middle of cutting and taping the pattern, and then once we cut out the fabric, I think it'll be pretty much smooth sailing from there. Leave me your thoughts down below. What do you think about my choices, and what style tweaks would you recommend? Long sleeve, core length sleeve, original short sleeve, extend the skirt? Should we keep it a short skirt, long skirt? Would love to hear your thoughts. So until next time, take wonderful care of yourselves, and I will catch you soon. Bye everybody.